So you're working on your communication models, draw and discuss, which you'll see here in week 1. This is asking you to take information from chapter 1, where you learned about the transactional communication model. And I want you to think about a communication event that you have had and draw a picture of it. Now, your drawing doesn't have to be wonderful. In a moment, I'm going to show you my drawing. And the main thing I want you to do is to capture the 10 different parts of the transactional communication model. They're listed right here. We have the channel, communicators, message, send and receive, external noise, psychological noise. That's noise that happens in your head when you're talking to yourself or you're thinking about things and it gets in the way of sending the messages. Also, there's physiological noise, and that's noise that's coming from inside you as well, but it has to do with maybe you're too hot or too cold, maybe you have a stomach ache or you have a headache, maybe you hurt your knee. Anything like that that is happening within your body physiologically that's getting in the way of either you receiving a message and hearing it clearly or sending your message. Next, identify what environment this is taking place. What is the communication environment? Is it academic? Is it social? Is it out for coffee in a Starbucks or a local cafe? And then talk about feedback. You can have verbal feedback, but also remember there's also nonverbal feedback. We receive many messages from nonverbal feedback. And then the context. Is this a face-to-face discussion, interpersonal communication, or maybe it's on the phone, text message, Twitter, social media? You can see page 9 in your textbook to learn more about the various communication contexts. So that's what you need to label. You'll see that I have put now, because there were some great questions about this assignment, in the module, right underneath the assignment, I have put an example. So I took some time and I drew out this picture here. And here's my communication model that I have drawn. Now again, I told you I'm not a great artist. But here you can see that there are 2 communicators here. One right here, that's a teacher. That's me. I'm not a stick figure, but I do have curly hair, and I'm a communicator. And then over here, this is a student right here. And you can see we're having a video chat via Zoom. And so the channel that we're using is voice and sight, but it's also an electronic communication, online communication channel. You can see the communicator sends a message and receives a response. And then over here, you will see the communicator receives a message and sends a message. But also I have here verbal feedback. So the message that the teacher says, "I'm sorry, the due dates are missing. Let me get that fixed." The student responds, "I don't know what to do first, Ms. Word. That would help a lot. Thanks." So you'll see that's verbal feedback. But also I can see, because we're in video chat, that the student has their hand on their head. That's also nonverbal feedback, okay? And this student has a headache currently, and so that's physiological noise, because maybe if you have a headache, that's getting in the way of communication. The student is also thinking, what is this teacher doing? This is why I hate online classes. So that's a thought that's happening inside their head, which I've labeled here as psychological noise. You'll see that this is a class or academic interpersonal context of communication, and it's in the online environment right here. Also, there is some external noise going on, and you'll see the external noise is happening right here with a dog barking, and I have a child over here asking me to play with her, And you might even hear some external noise currently right now because there's a TV on in the background. So, hopefully this gives you a really good example of what I'd like you to do when you're thinking of your communication model. All right, I hope that helps out. And please feel free to email me if you've got any more questions about this communication model.